And now it's time for the Ask the Angry Ninja Show. Alright, it's the Ask the Angry Ninja Show, and I'm not actually going to talk about movies or anything comic book related, because right now I think we need to talk about something else going on in the world. Get back into the old days, go hard on the paint, blah, blah, blah. And like school shootings, mass shootings, guns. We always talk about guns. What's the problem with guns? And here's okay. I am pro Second Amendment. Period. You should be allowed to have your guns. There is nothing inherently wrong with owning a gun. So let's get that out of the way for all you people like, hey, we're gonna take our guns. You're gonna take our guns. No, I'm not. I don't want to take your guns. And for the most part, most of the people in the government actually don't want to take your guns. We can't have no gun laws. We're gonna take our guns and our dogs and our wives. You're gonna have the wives. No. And when you say stuff like that, you sound ridiculous. What I want and what all the laws are trying to pass right now want is common sense. Common sense states for gun laws that A, when you go in to buy a gun, no matter where or who you buy it from, you should have to prove you are legally able to own that gun. Background check. That's pretty simple. And that includes closing loopholes for gun shows, closing loopholes for internet sales, closing loopholes for personal sales. They're like, oh my, that is my right to sell my gun. You're right, it is. And you should be able to sell your gun. And it shouldn't be based on well, I think this is a good dude rules. It should be based on whether or not this dude could actually pass background check. And there's a way around that. There's a simple, you can't do that. That's taking my... No, it's not taking your rights. Because we've already established to legally own a gun, you have to pass a background check to buy it legally. That's what we want to make the law. And it's where it is the law for most places already. Like gun stores, where a lot of people buy their guns. So, here's a way to do that, real easy. If you want to legally sell somebody their car, you have to go down to the DMV or your county clerk, or depends what area you're in, and transfer the title. Right? You gotta pay a little fee, transfer the title. Bam, problem solved. So if you want to sell, say, homeboy Steve here wants to sell his gun to homeboy Steven, then Steve and Steven take that gun down to the county clerk's office, and they pay a nominal background check fee, and they sell it legally. Well, then the government will know I have your gun. So what? The government knows already. And if you think you have some secret Mr. Gun the government doesn't know about, congratulations. But they're just going to assume you have it anyway. Like, you're not stopping anything. And you get your gun. And you know you didn't potentially sell your gun to a person who was going to do bad things with it. Well, you can pass a background check. Why is that so hard? Why is that so wrong? Why is that a bad thing? Why is having registered guns a bad thing? Now, I'm with you on if you register guns and they come try to take them, well, then you shoot them. Because that's your right to have that gun, and you registered it and you did it the right way. So, yeah, you shoot anybody who comes try to take that gun. Unless you've done something to show you shouldn't have a gun anymore. Now, every gun owner on the planet knows a guy who has a gun that they think probably shouldn't. You know that person. Everybody knows that person. Yeah, well, is there a Second Amendment right? Not if they're dangerous to themselves or other, because it stops being your personal right when you've made it clear you're not going to be safe with it. Because that's the thing about guns. Protection, yes. Hunting, yes. Hell, just because you like to go out and shoot shit. Go shoot some shit. Cool. I like it too. Heck, if you even think it's a tyrannical government and you're going to try to build up a militia and actually legally protest and do all the things to overthrow a government, That's not really, it's technically against the law, but I'm kind of okay with that one. Well, as long as you're not kidnapping governors and shit, 'cause that's weird. But yeah, okay. I guess if you really think you can overthrow the government, if you really think you can overthrow the government with gun store guns, even modified to be automatic or something else, I don't think you understand how tanks work. But okay, I get it. But that's not going into a school or going into a hospital or going into a church and shooting up the joint. That's crazy. Now, one of the other laws they want to pass is closing the loopholes on the background checks, but then also expanding the background check system and getting rid of a few things that are really crazy about the gun check system. Like, for example, you go get your background check, and they're like, you gotta wait. And you get tired of waiting, and the gun store's kind of waiting, so they hit this button called Default Proceed, and they go ahead and give you your gun, even though the background check hasn't come back yet. Yeah, that's a rule? We need to get rid of that rule. Look, and I'm sorry. I know this one's going to get some hate, but I don't care. There should be a waiting period. I don't care. If I go into a store and buy a gun, I pass my background check, and they're like, cool, we're going to hold this gun for 7 days. Or 3 days. Minimum 3. Right? Why? Okay. And that actually would save lives. Because a lot of these crimes and people who have hurt themselves, that extra couple days to make that decision save their life. Because being able to get a gun immediately allows you to make an immediate decision, and that can hurt you. So yeah, I know it's inconvenient to wait 3 days, but it's not infringing on your right because you still buy your gun. You're still gonna get it. You just gotta wait a couple days. Why is that so wrong? It's not wrong. It's not. I need my gun right now and it's pretty on my wall. I gotta go hunting. Well, you know what? If you know this is gonna happen and you know you want said gun for hunting season days don't change. You know where they are a year in advance. If you can't plan that shit out in a year, I don't think you should be hunting with a gun anyway. No. And no. One, again, still not infringing on gun. Have it. Pass a background check to get it. Nah, not hard. Wait. And yeah, that might be annoying that regular, I'm perfectly sane, gun-buying citizen, but it also might save lives. And is a minor 3-day convention enough inconvenience for you? Enough to save somebody's life? Yes. Yes, it is. Your right to have a gun when you probably already got 30 more. It's not that serious. Because you still get your gun. That's the point. Now, another big one is expanding the background check system. Guys, this is just something we need. As it stands right now, the background check system, it fails. It needs a massive investment. It needs to be linked together better. It needs more funding for people to put in the information. That way, the wrong people can't go easily buy a gun. Because I know I'm about to hear an argument that I hate so much. Well, bad guys don't always follow the laws to get the gun. You can't stop a bad guy from getting the gun. You're right. But why should we make it easier for them to do it anyway? Or make it to where they can go buy one legally when they shouldn't be able to? I'm sorry. I know we can never stop the bad guys from getting the guns. They're going to get guns. It's going to happen. But do we want to make it a trip to the store where they put down some money and get a gun? Or they got to do some shady shit that might get them caught? Make it harder. No, we'll never get rid of it completely, but we don't have to make it so fucking easy. So expand the background checks. Link all 50 states together and add international background checks. That's right, international. Do you realize at one point the Republican Party, and I'm throwing this on the Republican Party because they're the ones all voting up for it, voted down a law that would make it to where if you're on the terrorist watch list, you couldn't get a gun? That's right. They're on the terrorist watch list, but they can still legally buy a gun because that's not on the background check. Yeah. There was a law to change that, and the Republicans voted it down. What in the crap is that? Look, oh, you gotta have a gun. Yeah, but do you really want to make a terrorist buy guns legally? What's wrong with you? That's no, not okay. So let's keep that one in mind. Let's think about that. "Hey, my gun!" No. No. If you're on the no-fly list because they think you might be a terrorist, guess what? I don't want you to have a gun. Ever. Well, no, if you get cleared. Because that's the beauty of it. If you get cleared, by all means, buy a gun. Now, so the expanded, and then add a mental health aspect to the background check. Like if you've been recently released from a mental hospital. They don't check for that, so you can take your mentally ill ass right into a place and buy a gun. Really? And I'm not saying if you've ever had a mental health issue that you can never buy a gun, because that's ridiculous. Because you know what? People heal. People get better. People get help. But maybe there should be a time frame. Like, if you got out of the mental health institute yesterday, you shouldn't buy a gun today. Maybe you should have, wait. I don't know. I would have to let a mental health expert pick a time frame to show they're healthy or better or had time to recover or was actually in a good spot. But 6 months, a year, something, 2 years, maybe something. Yeah, hey, just to protect people, because a mentally ill person doesn't need access to firearms. Or you can shoot the ill people with a knife. Holy crap, you're right. And the minute dude takes a knife into a school and kills 19 children and 2 teachers before he gets stopped, so just stabbing people, then we'll have a different talk about knives. But let's just face it, you can't stab 19 people nearly as quickly and do as much damage as you can with an AR. And I know AR does not sell for assault rifle. I forget what it stands for, but it's not assault rifle. Yeah. So, man, of course, you can also do it with a handgun. That's why people are like, it's the guns. It's the kind of guns. No, it's really not. I mean, the high-capacity magazine makes it easier because you don't have to reload, things like that. But, and the bullets, oh yeah, the one in the particular assault rifle he had, and the bullets he were using were shooting through walls and still being lethal. What do you need a gun like that for? That's strictly for killing. You ain't hunting with that unless you're trying to shoot 2 deer one behind the other. But whatever. Honestly, I don't care. I don't think what kind of gun it matters, because he could have walked in with 222 rifles and with a high capacity magazine and knocked off that many people this as quickly. So I don't think the shooting through the walls part. He was shooting at the wall, through the walls at the police, which is why they froze like little punk ass bitches and didn't go in and stop him. The Uvalde police suck balls for not doing that, and then not letting the parents go in. Like, I've been like, a cop, I'm too afraid to go in. I'd be like, shit, go in, get your kid. I don't give a fuck. Go, have fun. Bye. Pat you on the ass. Here's a gun. Whatever. Pussy ass motherfucker. Anyway, but include mental health check. You can't pass a mental health check. Can't pass a background check. You can't legally buy a gun. All guns be registered. And then here's one thing that will hurt the criminals: if every gun is registered. That means if a cop catches you or anyone with an unregistered gun, they confiscate that gun. And all the unregistered comes off the market. And it's only a registered gun, which makes it harder for criminals to get guns. Simple. Will they get rid of all the guns? No, it won't get rid of all the guns. He can get rid of the guns, so let us all have them. I'm not saying don't have your guns. I'm saying register them. Why not? You really think if the government actually wanted to know, they wouldn't know? My favorite is they're going to plant a chip in me so they know what I'm doing. You carry around a cell phone with you. If they wanted to know, they already do. Like, you're walking with a camera and mic in your pocket at all times, so they can listen to you if they really wanted to. Newsflash, they don't. Not unless you're saying one of their magic keywords like, terror, I'm going to blow up the president. Yeah. Don't. So, yeah, mental health. Register your guns. Transfer them like you do cars. Why is that so bad? You still have your guns. Nobody's taking away your right to own a gun. Just making it harder for criminals to get guns. We're making sure people who are mentally ill don't have guns, so when they have an episode, they don't do something crazy like go into a hospital and shoot the doctors they felt like denied them. Like, why is that bad? Why? If somebody can explain that to me, I will. Anybody who wants to come on this podcast and talk to me about it, as long as you're reasonable and accept the fact that I'm going to make jokes, because it's kind of what I do. Like, I make jokes. I fully expect you to make jokes back. Whatever. Come, please, listen, talk. We'll work this out. Because I'm not saying don't have your guns. Have your guns. Register them. Have them. If the government tries to take them from you after you register them, fucking shoot them. But they won't. And the last one. And this is the one that I think is the most controversial, but truth be told, would have saved some lives. And it's called the red flag law. That means somebody can go down to the police station and say, hey, this person's been talking about shooting up a building. Maybe they shouldn't have any guns. And then the police have to investigate. And if they find that you've actually been saying this stuff, they take your guns from you for a while. Till you calm your crazy ass down. Yeah. Because a lot of these shooters posted all kind of crazy shit on Facebook and Twitter and other social media bragging about what the shit they're about to do. But posting stuff that's saying you're going to commit a crime on there isn't a legal reason to take a gun because it's not a red flag law for that yet. Because they haven't been passed. Because, I take my guns! Well, if you're planning on shooting up a fucking school, I want them to take your guns. Matter of fact, I want them to take your guns and bitch smack you with the butt of the gun as they take it. Just saying, that's what I want to happen. Nothing personal, just, I like schools, I like kids, and I like hospitals, and, I'm like churches and grocery stores. Like, yeah. Oh my God. And the rules that are being put in place, or they want to put in place instead of dealing with the issue of guns, kill me. We need to make it a secure point at the school where there's only one in and out, and there's always armed police officers there. Okay, well, there's a fire. And hey, I get it. There'll be emergency exits, but the fire thing, really, honestly. We shouldn't have to harden a school like that. It's a school. And your argument falls flat when you can't do that with everything. You can't turn every single building in the world to armed guard to get in. Especially if, you're living in an area where it's perfectly legal to strap 2 rifles to your back, 2 handguns to your side, and walk around in the open. Cops can't even stop you. There's Fred with his guns. It must be Fred Day. Yeah. Because he's proven he's rights to do that, which, by all means, makes it really hard to stop somebody, though, because you're like, well, he's not breaking the law by carrying the guns around, and there's no law saying I can check to see if they're registered, and there's no law to say I can prove, because you don't even need a license to carry guns anymore in most states. Yeah. You have to have a license to drive a car, legally. You don't need a license to carry something that can kill hundreds of people. Why? And I'm not saying don't get your guns. Have your guns. Enjoy your guns. Love your guns. Wait a couple extra days to get it. Be able to pass an expanded background check and mental health check. And if you post some dumb shit or talk about doing some dumb shit, you get your guns taken away until you prove you're really not going to do that said dumb shit. That's the laws they want to pass right now. And you're telling me these laws can't make it through? Here's a slippery slope. We're going to fall all the way down the slope. They'll take everything. No. We're tired of watching children die. And we want to do something that'll help. Well, it takes a good guy with a gun to stop a bad guy with a gun. And you're actually kind of right. I won't argue that one a whole lot, except for one small detail. How many people will the bad guy kill with that gun before the good guy with the gun gets there and then gets in the school hallway and waits an hour while the bad guy's still killing kids? Good guy go with the argument doesn't always work. I'd rather make sure the bad guy doesn't get the gun. And again, I know it's not foolproof. I know there's always ways around it. But the simple thing I'm trying to say here that everybody needs to listen to and understand is I'm not saying take away your guns. I'm saying make it harder for the bad guy to get that gun. And maybe we won't need that good guy with a gun that day. Maybe that bad guy without the gun because it was harder for him to get it rather than walking into a Waffle House and buying his gun from Steve because Steve's known him for a couple months and he thinks he's a pretty good guy. Or being 18 and mentally ill and buying a gun. That's another thing. They've proven that the human brain isn't fully developed and doesn't 100% understand right from wrong until you're in your 20s. 22, 23, something like that. Some people think as long as 25. So maybe somebody under the age of 21 shouldn't be able to buy a gun. Period. Wait, you're 21. Not infringing on your right there, because you can still buy a gun. You just got to wait a couple years. Is that so wrong? Think about that. Think about when you were 18. And I was responsible at 18. I never did anything wrong. I never stuck my dick in that Mexican hooker. No. Yes, you did. We're all 18. When we're 18, we were fucking stupid. We all were. Some of us may have been more responsible than others, and I'm sure there's some great story that everybody has about 18 when they did one really responsible thing. But if you look back at it from 18 to 22 to 23, probably from 15 to 23, we all did some really dumb shit that we would not go back and do again because we were stupid. We made stupid mistakes. So maybe, before you're 21, not be able to buy a gun. Why not? If you want to go hunting, well, you went hunting before you were 18 because you used your dad's gun. Why not? Think about that. Simple thoughts, simple things. Like, simple things we could do that don't infringe on your right to have a gun and might actually save lives. Are we going to save everybody? No, we never are. Not in this country, not now, not ever. But maybe, just maybe, we can help. And if all these laws only stop one school shooting, just one, wasn't that one worth it? If we stop one mentally unstable person from getting a gun while they're not thinking clearly and so they don't kill themselves, was it not worth it? Because you still got your gun when you were supposed to get it. You just had to wait a couple of days. You just had to pass a background check. You just had to show you're mentally ill. And you had not to be planning to do anything illegal. Oh, damn. Such awful rules they want to pass. Such awful rules. So, yeah. That's my rant. And rant over. I think we can do this. I think we should. I think everybody should really listen to this and understand the arguments. And if anybody at all wants to talk to me about it, go wherever you got this thing, send me a message, get me on Twitter at cman2342, and I will invite you on here. We will record, and I will post it as long as you're reasonable. That's it. And if you disagree with me, disagree. But if you're going to disagree with everything I just said, then you better have a plan, too, that you think will actually help. And it better not be, we're going to put the military in the schools. Well, that doesn't help the grocery store or the hospital. And we can't put armed people everywhere. So let's just make it a little bit harder for the bad guy to get the gun. That way we don't need as many good guys with guns. Just saying. Because the good guy with a gun sometimes gets afraid. And you know what? Truth be told, as much as I hate him for failing, part of me understands. Maybe they shouldn't have taken that job, but part of me understands. All right, that's it. Angry Ninja out. Talk to you guys later. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. It's all part of the Ninja Podcast Network with all the shows featuring Ask the Angry Ninja Show, Not a Kid's Game, presented by the Angry Ninja, which is our D&D podcast, the Ninja News and Politics Show, Sports Talk with the Ninja and J-Mo, and our newest podcast, Outrageous Stories with the Ninja, featuring occasional special guests. Great shows, great stuff. If you want to reach any of us, you can go at AskTheAngryNinja@gmail.com. You can reach us on Twitter at cman2342. You can get us on Facebook on the Ask the Angry Ninja Show Facebook page. Any of those places, if you want to support us, we appreciate that. Go to patreon.com/worstjokes. And if you join high enough tier, you'll get a free gift. And we just appreciate any support and feedback. You guys have a wonderful night, and we'll holler at you later.